And abuga, 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 abuga. Alright, sweet. So we got audio. Alright. So basically, I just want to make a little video. I'm going to make an actual video. This is just a stream just so I can see and show how this circuit works. So basically, I'm going to explain the system and I'm going to make another video showing the build of it. Where I'm going to actually build this again, but I'm going to explain how this works, and to make you understand how this works. So basically, I wanted to make a automatic door system that can basically hold the doors open. Basically, whether you want to manually do it with a switch. You want to have it with a sensor, you can make it, trip and open with, one of the heartbeat sensors that detects motion from the person that's on the TC. Or a laser, you could do it with a laser. Yeah, so basically what I've done is made a system with these AND switches. So with an AND switch, it needs two sides of power to then work, whatever it's going to go to, a light, a switch, or whatever. So basically, if we see here, this electric switch goes to the door controller, okay, and then the door controller goes to the other door controller, etc., etc., right? So this switch opens all the doors, right? And it does that because it has the other AND switch. It goes to the toggle on, right? So there's two AND switches. Now they're both held on one side from electric, so they're on the branch here, on these branches, right? They go from your electric system, or from your branches, sorry, there you go, to hold this side on, and then the other side on, excuse me, is held on by this sensor. So if I turn that off, you can see both that the connection isn't made, so the timer isn't getting powered, which means that when, so what I've just done there, so now you can see that it works, because this is probably the other one. Okay, so what I've done is, I've done a switch, right? Because the problem is, with this system, right, if you use a timer switch, right, that means that once you've triggered it on, as it is now on, all the doors are open, right, this is now going to be on the timer, and when the timer runs out, the doors will shut. Now the problem with this is that if, say, you're getting raided, say something is going on and you need the doors to shut, this isn't going to shut now. This isn't going to close until the time is done. So what I did is I put a switch, which this switch is powered by the branch, and then so that switch powers the timer switch. So now I can't turn on and off this switch lock. It does not work. So you can't open the doors. So, I mean, you could hide this switch. Excuse me. You could hide this switch behind, a box or something, or, put it, somewhere valuable like your TC room. Because, I mean, if they get to your TC anyway, it's kind of over. But they're not going to know that, to activate this, you need this switch on. And even if they switch this lock, your doors aren't going to open and close, because basically you'd have to hit the timer switch. So I mean, really you could hide the timer switch if you wanted to. Now the timer switch is activated from the heartbeat sensor, so the moment the moment this sees me, it goes to this, you see how they are all open now? You can hear it. So the reason that happens is, what you got to do is try and jump on this fucking shelf. So this, you have a HBHF sensor, right? You power that from your branch, right? Give it power, it'll work. Give it, 2 power, 1 standard, whatever, right? That now goes to one half of your AND switch, right? And then the other half is controlled by your thing as well, standard amount of power, right? That then goes to the timer. I'm trying to show the circuit. Yeah, that goes to the timer toggle on, right? So when it sees you, it gives the other side the power, which toggles the switch on, right? Then what you have to do now, the other one here, this one has the branch and the switch, because basically, actually, why did I do that? I think I originally did. I don't think you actually need that. You could probably just go directly from the switch to that. But I think the reason why I did another one in the beginning is because I originally went to another one of these, which was this one, right? And my idea is that I only wanted to have someone authorized on the TC, like this one here, that's green, right? Not on TC. On TC, it's green. I wanted it to have, I wanted to do this again, and have this go to the switch, so only the TC person can control the switch. Now the problem with that is that the moment I leave this door, this turns off, which then shuts all my fucking doors, and I don't want that, because I want my doors to be open so I can go around my base. So that's why I got it on a timer switch, and as you see, when it sees me, it triggers, because it's seen that I'm, on the TC, and it toggles on and comes on. So it's very, very, very simple to do this. You're literally just using, now, with your doors, you're going to have to change the, that's so annoying, you're going to have to change, now, this has 23 power, that's enough to open all my doors. Now, how do you know which branch to do that to? Well, it is basically the branch that you're going to power, this goes to the switch, right? The switch then controls and goes to the timer. So it says 22, right? And then you've got 22 power, or 21, go into your door controller, right? So you're powering all your doors. It's 1 power per door, I believe. And that's what you do. So if you do this, you run all your door controllers, and then you're like, well, why aren't my doors opening? You have to change, you configure that, and you change the power going to your timer or your switch, then your timer. And like I said, the reason I've done the switch to the timer is because then I can turn off the power to the timer, which then makes the timer stop while it's on, so then I can close all my doors in an emergency. So there is literally no videos that I can find on this. If there is, then that's awesome. But I wanted to look into a door close system, and from what I've seen, they're very, very fucking complex. There's like, it's a mile long of components, like memory cells and fucking blockers and this and that and all that, and it's so complex. Like, this is literally just a sensor, an AND switch, door controller and a switch, and that's it. It's so easy to do. So literally, again, like I said, you slap down an AND switch, you power it from your branch, you power it from your sensor. That then goes to your timer, and there you go. And then obviously the other one is the switch, which then the switch goes to the branch. Now, like I said, if you only want someone on TC to use a switch, you're going to try and use a sensor. That's not going to... Then when you close the store, you walk away, it will cut off your timer, and all your doors will close. Now, you don't want that. You want to have movement in your base. Now, the good thing is with this, is that, oh, I can't use this now. How do I change the time? You cut the power to it. Now, you can change the time with this. I've got it on, I think, like 600 seconds, which I think is like 20 minutes. 10 minutes, sorry. You can put it on whatever you want. You give it power again. And then you go set time. So mine's on 10 minutes. You can change it to whatever you want. I think this is a really brilliant system, what I've kind of created from my head, because, yeah, it does the job for me, you know. It keeps all my doors open when it's on. There you go, just seen me. So now, every door that I put on the system, it's going to open. Now that door's not on the system, that door's not on the system. All these doors, this is the new door. I've not had any issues with it whatsoever. It keeps all of my doors open, which is nice for me. Now, I don't recommend doing your front doors. Keep all your front doors and your roof doors off the system, because if they're open, someone could just come straight in. Just leave your first, doors to get out manually. It's not worth, having them open and then someone's there and they're going to get straight in. That's just stupid. You always want an airlock. So I've made an airlock by obviously not having some doors on the system. Now this is brilliant, being on the timer, because I can go out, I can go farm, and literally I will come home, all my doors will be shut, the base will be secure and fine. I don't have to constantly keep opening all the doors. Now what you can do, you can move the sensor to your front door, right? You can move that little sensor here, if you wanted to, and have it on 5 minutes or something like that. So you come in your front door, boom, the sensor sees you, sends it's both gone green, it sends the power to the timer switch in your TC room, boom, all your doors open, and then you can just run through your base, really nice. And the only thing with that then is that when they shut, when you got to trigger the timer at the front door. But I mean, if you put, you could probably put a switch. You could essentially do the same thing, but see, this is the thing. If you try and make a switch work with only the timer, now it works with the timer switch. So maybe what you could, but the problem is then, is that someone, if that switch is at your front door, then anyone, if there's power going to your switch, can open and open your doors like that. Now you don't want that. So I mean, what you could do is have this system where you have the switch powering that switch, and what you do is when you're in your core, you could toggle the switch, so then this switch at the front door doesn't have any power. It's just a dangerous game. Unless anyone who's really smart with this stuff can figure a way that you can control it from your front door and your core, the person only on TC, then that would be brilliant. I don't know how to do that. It would be a lot of wrecking your brain and trying to figure out, because the problem I had is that the moment you leave the sensor, then all your doors are going to shut, because it doesn't have the green, it doesn't have the connection to go forward, which is bad. So I don't know how to do that essentially, but I really like this system. That's just my lights. I like the way I've done this because it works. It works for me. If someone blew in and your base is gone, I mean, look, the switch doesn't work because our switch isn't on. Now, I mean, they're not going to know that to power that and shit. But, you know, people aren't very smart. I mean, again, if you could hide that behind a box as well. Yeah, I don't know how you could do it with the front. I did have a way that... Now, what you can do is if you... I have done this where this thing goes to a timer. So you could do that at your front door. Because I have done it before where I've got one of these at the front door and then one in the TC. To where my doors are open. So it can work, especially for smaller bases as well. It's really good, but you could do it with any base. You can do it. So basically just take what I've done and try and work with it. Yeah. You can do it. So I mean, if you put one of these up on where your front door is, run it to a timer that's in your TC room, and then connect that to your doors, and then put it on like a 5-10 minute timer. When that sees you, it's going to make the connection. All your doors will open, you run on the timer. And then I guess to get it to work from your TC room, I don't know how I actually did that before, because I think what I did 2 sets of the door controllers. I think that's what I actually did, and I did another door controller, and then I just did the system again. So I did the same exact thing, sensor in the TC room, and then another door controller, and then the timer went to that, and that's how I did it, I think. So you can do it. I like this system, I think it's really cool. If there's any other ways of doing it, I mean, it's simple. I don't have any blockers, memory cells, all that kind of shit. It's simple, really, really simple. It's just when you start to think about it, it can become really complicated. But, yeah. Alright, that's that. I'm going to make a video on actually putting the components, because I also don't like videos where people just show it, they don't even, like, build it. But I'll go on to a test server and build it. But literally just showing you the tool lock. You have your electric branch, you have your electrical branches, sorry. Now that brings in your solar panels or your windmills. That then goes, you then power goes, I've got it going to a branch, and then what I have is I go into a blocker because it's a backup battery system. So I've got some power charging the large battery. Then if my battery is destroyed, I've got it going to my blocker. Then I've got this going to here. That's then powering my blocker. The blocker is going to the ceiling light, which is showing me what kind of power I'm running. Then that's going to the OR switch, and then that's then going to my branch, and then my branch is going to each single thing, and you basically branch off to your turrets, to your sensors, to your AND switches, and then obviously the door controller goes from the timer. So this system is really cool, the battery backup system. So basically if my battery got destroyed, and then this wasn't giving power to my blocker, it would unblock this, which then unblocks the power to the blocker, which then if that's not blocking, it goes green, so then the light would turn on, which then goes to this, which I can't fucking get to. So there you go. So I mean, that's the system I got going on right now. This timer runs down, all the doors are shut. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Alright, so that's that. I'll go on Test Branch, I'll do a video of it. but I just thought this was really cool to explain and share. There is literally, I can't find many videos on it. There's videos where people do a button, like you can have like your door, your sensor, and then you hit a button and then they all open. But the problem is then they all close. And this way of doing it on the timer, it keeps them open, which I've not really seen. Because I hate just opening them all the time. Even if you're doing it on a button, like, it's just going to open it and then they're going to close again. So I like to hold my doors all open when I'm going around the base, and then if I'm gone for a while, you know, it'll shut all my doors, which is nice. So that's the end of that. Have a good one. I'll make a video. I hope that's helped someone. And yeah, alright.